Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. I was supposed to get this video out for you guys like the last week of January, but I was feeling a bit under the weather for about 2 weeks. I just recently started feeling better, so I decided to come back and refilm this video that I have promised to get out to you guys. And basically I'm just gonna be coming back and answering the questions that I was answering in the last video. I have like 10 questions here, and all of them are centered around cybersecurity, and most of them are from my YouTube comments. I do plan on eventually getting to my DM comments, but it's just so much and I don't want to overwhelm you guys with too much information. So we're just gonna hop right into the video because I don't want to make it too long because I have to get out more content for y'all, okay? First question is from Latoya. She asked, I had a random thought, and forgive me if you've already covered this, but when it comes to technical interviews, what are some unique questions that you remember or would advise someone to be prepared for? That's a really good question. One of the questions that would trick me a lot in interviews, especially technical interviews, they would ask me about different ports. I usually forget ports because I'm not working with ports that much, but when I start back into like studying or practicing penetration testing, that's when my port numbers start coming back in. But know your ports. Know the ports. Like right now I can't think of them like right off the top of my head, but know ports. They're gonna ask you things related to your soft skills because they want to know how you deal under pressure and how you communicate with people and how you work on a team. So they might ask you questions in regards to like how you dealt with a difficult situation where you were under pressure. How did you handle the situation? And you want to give like a detailed response on how you were in a situation where it was difficult and how you handled it and how you solved it. They like to hear how you solved it in great detail, okay? A lot of the times they will ask me about like my CTF and hackathon. I bring this up a lot. I think I brought this up in a previous video multiple times. They ask about like my CTF experience and like networking events and stuff like that. It's always interesting to them because I guess because I'm a girl and I'm also in the tech industry, and they want to hear like my experience at these events and how it's helped me with my tech career. So that's why I always encourage you guys to go to networking events, go to hackathons, go to CTFs, because you can put that on your resume. It's something as you do as your extracurricular, and it's something that you can put a part as your experience. And they can ask you things about the projects that you did at these events, about the different types of things that you hacked into and cracked into at a CTF, different types of people and things that you met at a networking event. You just never know. So those 3 questions are usually the most unique questions that I get, even though the port question is not a unique question, but that's one of the ones that I get tricked up on most of the time in interviews. Any of you that are nervous about interviews, or you have questions, like you want to know like common interview questions, what I would do before I would go into an interview and before I even got into my first tech job, I went onto Google and literally typed common technical questions or common help desk questions, common cybersecurity questions, common system administration interview questions. I typed that in, and I would literally like go through and find websites where they would have the question and give you like good answers to give back to your future employer or the interviewer. Question number 2 is from Cul-de-sac Negro. I'm gonna say it like that because I don't want to be flagged for saying it like this. So we're gonna say it like that. How do you organize what to study? This field is so vast and layered, and sometimes I have a hard time deciding what I should prioritize studying and learning. How do you not get overwhelmed whilst on your security journey? I hope this makes sense. I know your channel is gonna take off in 2020, we claim it. Yes, we do. I have a video up on my channel. I'll post it here that I did with my friend Ari. And we basically went through and created her study schedule. And that's kind of like what I do. But what I do is before I even get to my Google Docs, I'll plan it out. Like I'll write it out in my journal and just kind of go through how many days it's gonna take me and how many, you know, how much I might want to do a day. Then I'll go in Google Sheets. I think that's what it's called. I think that's the Excel version of, or the Google Doc version of Excel. And I'll create like a template or a schedule in there with the month or the week that or the days that I want to start the course or whatever I'm learning or the book, and just schedule out the chapters or the course modules or labs or whatever comes in there. And I used to overwhelm myself when I first got into the field, because like you're a beginner and you're trying to learn everything at once, and you think that you have to know everything because that's what the field makes you feel like you have to do. Like you have to learn everything before you get an actual job. But I try to, nowadays, I'm just keeping it down to like 1 or 2 things, because you can get burnt out very fast if you take on too much at once. Trust me, I did it. I used to get burnt out a lot because I was taking on 3 to 5 things at once. It was almost like being in college. I used to get burnt out a lot in college because I was learning like 4 different things in school at once. I was going to school full time most of the time. So like I would be learning probably help desk in one class, and then I would learn networking in one class, and then I would go and learn Cisco 2 in another class. Yeah, I really advise, like, if you are interested in a course or a book, a course and or book, or just a course and a book, take one and go all the way through it, study it, remember it, solidify it in your brain. So yeah, that's how I organize what I study and not get overwhelmed. I plan out what I want to study. I pick one or 2 things, I plan it out, and then I put it in Google Sheets and plan it out throughout the week, and then I don't take on too much at one time. Question number 3 is from Michelle. I'm currently trying to choose a concentration in computer science, and I'm torn between cybersecurity and health informatics. Which do you think is better for getting a job? Thanks. Hi, Michelle. So I get this question a lot from people when they ask, like, should I do this or should I do that? And I'm typing up a really good thing for you guys that's going to be dropping in March to help you guys with this question, because I can give you like a general like idea, but it'd be very biased because it'd be something that I think would be best for you, but overall at the end of the day it may not be best for your overall lifestyle, your health, your salary, and your budget, the budget in your life. So I'm typing up something to help you guys choose if you're stuck between like choosing in between a career path. I'm gonna be helping you with that, so stay tuned for that, Michelle. Question number 4 is from Prince954. Hey, this was a very informative video. Have you ever thought about being a college professor? No. No. I think Instagram and specifically YouTube are gonna be my classrooms for a while, just because I don't have to grade papers. You come to my YouTube and you grade yourself on your dedication and your work ethic, okay? You know you get an A, you know you got an A if you got where you want to be, and you know you got an F if you're still in the same place. Point blank. Simple as that. Maybe like somebody, like a guest speaker at colleges, or somebody that they ask to come and like do special like tutorials for the students to give them like an idea of like what's it like being a freelance penetration tester, and how to like set up tools, and how to, you know, crack into things and be an ethical hacker. Maybe. But as far as like a actual college professor, no. Question number 5 is from Prolific. I'm thinking of changing from the healthcare field into cybersecurity. I'm so nervous. I don't think I'm smart enough. It's majority white men in this field, and it's kind of intimidating because I know when I start, I'll most likely be the only black female in class. I might be the only female in class. Okay, if you are interested in the cybersecurity career field, I am, like I said, I mentioned before, I'm typing up something for you guys to kind of get you a little bit more confident about coming into this field and picking a career. And it's okay to be nervous. I completely understand where you're coming from. This is a very white male dominated field still. There's still not, I know I look like an angel right now because it's like so bright, and the light is like, the sun is like so crazy right now. Let me see if I can, this like, okay. There is a majority of white men in this field, and it can be intimidating because I think they've been surrounded by each other, just men in general, not just white men, but any type of men in this field. They've been around each other most of the time, and they don't know how to act around women when we get in the field. I have personally dealt with it in my jobs. I've dealt with it in my classes. I've dealt with it, you know, outside, off campus. It can be intimidating, and it can be comfortable. Wow, the light is like ridiculous right now, and I look like I'm about to go into heaven. I look like I'm in heaven. The sun is crazy right now. So as far as you being the only black woman in the class, I was as well. But I think because just the type of person I am, I like that. Like, I was like, wow, like I can really stand out in class. Like, I can really go to my professors and just really be remembered by them because I'm the only woman for one, and then I'm the only black woman. Like, literally, when I first started my cybersecurity degree, I was literally the only woman, and on top of that, I was the only black woman in the classes. So just imagine that. And you guys see how I look. I'm very girly. I'm very, you know, feminine and dainty. And sometimes I would come to school with my makeup done and my hair done, and I would look really cute and put together. So I'm walking into class, and these boys are looking at me like, and my professors are looking at me like I would literally get these looks. But over time, when they saw how like interested I was in, you know, what I was learning, and I was very engaged, and I always asked questions, and I was always reading, and I was always coming to class prepared, and I always did my homework, and I was always, you know, coming in early and on time, I started to get taken very seriously. And when it got to the point where I was like acing my test, and I was answering the professor's questions, and I knew what, you know, what they were talking about in class, and I was helping the guys with their tech stuff and helping them figure out stuff, they took me a lot more seriously, and it wasn't as bad. So what I would say to combat that nervousness is to just go in there, and if you are the only woman, just remember, go to the class, go in there, be a bad girl, go in there looking bad as you can be, and just stand out as far as like knowing your stuff and, you know, showing out with your grades and what you know, because the professor's gonna look at that, the guys are gonna look at that, and they're not gonna, you know, it's not gonna be as bad as you think. They're not gonna be making fun of you unless you're around like some, I don't know where you live, but like we're in college, like especially I was in community college, so like people were there to get their degrees, they were trying to get their jobs. Like nobody was really, the guys were not really like making fun of me or, you know, making me feel weird about being in the class. The professors wasn't even making me feel weird. They made me feel very comfortable, and even used to tell me like I was very special and was gonna do great. It may be to your benefit that you're the only woman in the class. It was for me a lot of the times. Like I used to get, you know, I became very popular amongst the cybersecurity crowd because they knew like I was like one of the most prominent black women at my school that was in the classes. So don't think of it as a negative thing, you know, kind of go in there with an open mind and a positive mind, and you'll get positive results. And that's what happened with me. But always know, this is why I got on YouTube and I came on here and I put myself out there, because I felt the same thing, girl. Okay, I was like, who can I look to? Where can I go? Like, where are the girls that look like me to make me feel more confident about going in this classroom or going in this job? I can't find them. So I was like, I'm gonna have to be them. I have to be that person. You can do it. I'm gonna be here. You can always watch me. I might leave for a couple days, but we all got lives, you know? If you are looking to get into cybersecurity, I say go for it. Do your research, take notes, and really evaluate if it's something that's gonna fit into your overall lifestyle down the line in the future and really benefit you as a person. Question number 5. Question number 6. The word Smith asked, you physically work on computers, meaning unscrew parts and help desk jobs. You do. You also work on laptops as well. One of my jobs, it was like hybrid. I was like working on computers remotely and fixing. It was more of like us fixing the software remotely. Couldn't really just drive to our clients. We would, you know, fix it with the remote software that we had. Sometimes it would just get so bad to the point where, you know, we had one of our field techs go out and pick up the computer, or sometimes they would drive to us and like drop off their computer or laptop, and I would fix it. I was like, I became the designated person to fix it, even though all of us would fix it, but because I was the entry-level person or girl, they would have me fix most of the laptops and desktops that came in. And I learned a lot by doing that, because I was always I can cut up my fingers doing that as well, because I used to do that so much. I used to, like, when I would be in the desktop, because there's like so many like metal parts on the inside, I would like be trying to like get in and get the hard drive and unscrew the motherboard and get stuff and take it out, and I would be cutting up my fingers, and I didn't realize it until like I would go to the bathroom and wash my hands, and I'm like, why the heck are my hands burning so much? And I realized it was cuts from me working on desktops all day. And that's when I began to hate help desk, because I'm like, my cute little hands cannot have cuts on them. This is not cute. Question number 7. This is from Yaz Z. Enjoying the frequent uploads. I don't see the link in your description box about the website you recommend over different jobs in cybersecurity, though. That link is in my description box for anybody that is wondering. I'm gonna keep putting that link in my description box until I drop my surprise for you guys in March. Let's see. And then he asked, do you ever get bored or burnt out? How do you combat it? So I answered the bored part in my 10 questions why 10 reasons why I like cybersecurity. I don't get bored in this field because there's like so much information to learn. There's always something happening. There's always something to do and learn and pick up. So I never get bored, but I do get burnt out. And sometimes I'm just like, I can't do it today. Like, it's too much. I don't feel like studying. I don't feel like touching my computer. Like, I just want to rest. And I combat it with just inspiring myself, like thinking, okay, how can I get up and do it? Now I can get up and be like, okay, what can I learn to like make a YouTube video and teach them, you know, teach other people what I'm learning? Or what could I get on Instagram and talk about in my caption? You know, I could take a cute picture and then like go and, you know, read something like a current event or a news topic and inform people about that. I just kind of get myself excited about it by learning something new, or actually like getting out the rut that I'm in from learning new stuff and just going and finding something, you know, something that's gonna make it fun for me, which is YouTube and Instagram. You know, social media makes it fun. Or writing a blog post, like I could go and read about something and be like, okay, let me give my take on this, or let me tell people about this in a blog post and teach them about it. So that's how I combat that. Question number 8 is from Tiny Love. Do you know anything about application security, and do you need a degree for it? Application security is kind of it's a unique situation because you don't necessarily need a degree for it. I haven't really seen a degree for application security. It's kind of just tied into security, the security degree itself. I've never really seen like a pen tester degree. I don't know, maybe at certain colleges they may have it, but at my college specifically, they just had like a cybersecurity degree. They had a network security, I think, degree or certification. And I think there is another one that they had. If you want to do application security, you honestly could do that independently. You could literally not have a degree and go and get your certs and literally just build up your skills yourself. You could, you know, apply for courses online. And you guys, I have a surprise for you. If you do want to learn application security, I have found a new website that I have recently partnered with. It is Ethical Hackers Academy, and I'm an affiliate for them. So if you guys are interested in becoming an application security pen tester, becoming a SOC analysis, learning about Metasploit, learning about Kali Linux and the different tools, learning about Burp Suite, learning about all these different courses that you can take on this site, you can get a 10% discount with my code Digital Empress at checkout, and you can learn all of this stuff on a discount. I recently just signed up for their Ethical Hackers course, and I will be talking about that on here very soon. But yes, you don't necessarily need a degree for it. Like, I've heard of people who like skipped out on college and they went straight into just learning how to pen test and getting like their CEH, their OSCP, their EJPT, like their ethical hacking certifications, and going through and getting the necessary licensings and things set up for their business so they can actually pen test. And now they pen test for people. Question number 9 is from Jasmine Pearl. I'm low on funds and trying to buy a laptop on eBay. I found one, a Dell E6430 3rd generation Intel Core i5-3320M. Will this work if I need to download Anaconda and other coding things? Could I just buy it and upgrade the graphics? It depends. I don't know about this one. So basically what you could do is go to the Dell website and type in the Dell model number, and you can go in and look at the specs and what you can and cannot upgrade, and if it's still upgraded. Since that is a Windows workstation and a Dell, you should be able to upgrade a lot of that to something more. But as far as like Anaconda and like your different software, you want to go to Anaconda and like whatever IDE editor that you want to buy, get, or whatever software that you want to buy, and go to their website and see how much storage and RAM that they use. That way you know like how much you need in total, because you don't want to have something that doesn't have the right specs and it runs super slow. I'll tell you, I tried to run Kali Linux on a MacBook Air. Trash. All right, and question number 10, our last question, is from Edgar Reyes. What was your pathway to get where you are? What was your first cert? And what do you recommend for someone trying to break into the cybersecurity field? It's gonna be a long story short. I'm probably gonna do like a whole video of like how I got like into college, like where I came from, where like how I found out about cybersecurity, how I became a cybersecurity engineer, how long it took, and do a whole video on that, because you guys seem very interested in that, and I think it will help a lot of you guys to know like my journey and know that it's not something that's gonna happen overnight. It's gonna take work. But I come from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, where tech is not it's not a big thing like it is up here in the Washington DC area. I was interested in tech as a little girl, but I knew about hacking and stuff from like movies and stuff, but it just never crossed my mind as something that I could go into a career field into. Like I just never thought of becoming that. I didn't even know that existed growing up, that you could be a hacker or an ethical hacker for a living. I didn't know how to like enroll in college. I was trying to enroll in college, but like I just didn't know how to. And my grandmother, she reached out to her son, my uncle, because he was already up here and he was with his wife, and they were doing well for themselves, and she thought this would be a pretty good area for me to come up here and figure out what I wanted to do and to get into college, because both my aunt and uncle have been to college and graduated and could like, you know, help me get through it. Literally 2 weeks after I graduated high school in 2014, I left Louisiana and I flew and moved to the Washington DC metro area. They enrolled me in college, and they first were trying to get me to become a dental hygienist. And I was like, okay, because I really didn't know what I wanted to do. I was just like, I have no idea about getting into a career. My parents really didn't talk to me about that. Having a career was something that just wasn't forced onto me as a kid. My parents just let me be a kid. So I enrolled in classes and stuff like that, like my biology and all these science and math classes that I was gonna have to take, specifically biology classes. I was gonna have to take so many science classes, so many biology classes, I remember. And I remember my first biology class that I got into, I hated it. I just remember being in that class and being so miserable and not being interested in what I was learning. And I was like, I don't like this. I hate this. I don't want to be a dental hygienist. And then I just remember sitting in class one day, imagining myself in the future, cleaning and digging into people's dirty mouths. And I was just like, no, that's not what I want to do. That's not what I'm meant to do. I already am not happy. I can already see myself in the future not happy digging in somebody's mouth. I was working on campus in a computer lab. That's how I got like my first experience in the tech field, was working in a computer lab on campus as work study. And I was talking to my bosses in there, and I was telling them like, I don't really like these classes. I don't really want to be a dental hygienist. And they were like, you don't look like a dental hygienist. That looks like something that you would just be miserable doing. They were like, you need to go and look in the catalog and try and find something else. So I literally went and got the school's catalog, and I literally just started flipping through and looking. And I remember flipping straight to the tech section. Like I just randomly just flipped to the technology section of degrees, and I start going through. So I'm looking, and then I come across something called, lo and behold, cybersecurity. So I'm like, okay, what is this? I read the like description of what it was, and I was like, so I'm basically gonna be hacking into computers for a living without going to jail. I literally was like, this is it. I felt it in my spirit. I felt it in my soul. I felt it in my heart. Like, this is what I was destined to do. I literally went and the next day and like went straight to the admissions office. I think that's what that is, admissions. And I changed my major from biology. It was originally biology, or no, it was originally general studies. And I changed it to cybersecurity. I immediately, in my soul, I just felt so good after I did that. I felt so just powerful and like I had found what I wanted to do, and I did. Because look at me now. It worked out. That's where it basically all started. And then I eventually went on to get an internship at the government doing security work, and then I went on to get my first job as a help desk analysis, and then I became assistant administrator, and then I became a network analysis, and I eventually and finally became a cybersecurity engineer. And now I'm a freelance cybersecurity engineer who runs her own business. I have had a run for my money for a good 5 years. I graduated in 2014 and it's 2020 now. So 6 years now. So yeah, that's my pathway. And for you, it might be different. For many of you, it's going to be different. And this is why I'm creating like this workbook for you guys to find your pathway, because as you can see, my pathway started me graduating from high school in Louisiana and leaving my home state and going to school in a different state and finding out about cybersecurity. You just never know what you may have to do to get into this field. And my first cert, I don't even have like a cybersecurity cert, and I broke in. I'm gonna make a video on how I did that, because a lot of you guys ask me, oh, well, how do you have cert? Well, do you have certs, or how did you get in with no certs? It's because I started working at the age of 18. I started getting experience in technology on campus at school in a computer lab. Like, I had about 3 years of experience. I had about 3 or 4 years of experience before I actually became a cybersecurity engineer. And they were all jobs that built up my foundation to get me where I was. And it also helped me having a cybersecurity degree and just being very passionate about what I like to do, my career field. What I recommend for anyone trying to break into the cybersecurity field, depending on the career path that you want to do or where you want to be, and if you don't have any type of technical experience, like you're not already working in tech, I do recommend you guys go to school. Like, go to a community college. They are accepting people who are going to community colleges, and try and make sure that your community college has a very hands-on curriculum, because the way cybersecurity is set up, the reason why they want a lot of you guys to have a lot of experience is because, and I'm gonna go into more detail about this in its own separate video. I think this would be a really good video topic for you guys. But long story short, they want you guys to have experience in the corporate world before actually getting into security, because up until that point, you're learning security practices in the corporate world. If they just kind of bring you on as a new person into the corporate world, especially in a security setting, and you don't already have in your mind how you're supposed to come in and lock your computer every time you leave your computer, how you're supposed to, make sure that you're not sharing any type of information in, outside of work. Make sure that you're not wearing like your badge or anything outside of your company and, letting random people see it. These are all certain things that they want you to have under your belt before you actually come into the cybersecurity space. When you have that experience, like me starting at help desk, that helped me, because they're like, oh, she knows how to write emails, she knows basic security practices, she knows how to lock her computer every time she leaves, she knows how to She knows how to fix computers, which is a plus. We don't ask of that, but that she understands the computer. Oh, she was a systems administrator. She knows how Active Directory works. She knows how to secure servers. She knows how to, manage servers. She knows how the servers work. She knows how Active Directory works. She knows how to add users in Active Directory. All these things just led up to and was a foundation on top of each other for when I actually got into cybersecurity. So all the things that I was learning from my first job and at school up until when I actually got my job was the equivalent of me getting a Security Plus cert. And it got to the point where I don't even have to get a Security Plus cert because I have so much experience now that it would be no point. Like, I could go take it and I'd probably pass it, but I'm like, I just don't want to waste my money on a cert that I'm just not really passionate about getting. I want to go for more higher level certs now, which are like OSCP. I'm going to start also with my EJPT, which is I think it's eLearn Junior Penetration Tester cert. And I want to start off with that and see how I do with that. And then go on to probably getting CEH and, a bunch of other penetration testing certs, and maybe even get my CISSP. I'm going for more higher level certs. I'm not getting any. I just was never interested in the CompTIA certs. I'm like, if I can get into the corporate world and secure experience, I won't have to waste my money. And I didn't. Like, I got a help desk job without an A+ cert. I got a networking job without a network cert. I got a security job without a Security Plus cert. So I would say start researching, start watching YouTube videos, start maybe if you're not in school yet, enroll in a course like the Ethical Hackers Academy. Try and enroll in one of those courses to prepare. Read books, get a good book to read, and just do a lot of research, and then take initiative, like plan out, do your course, read your book, and then start planning out when you want to find an internship. Start off with maybe an internship before you just want to hop into an actual job. Fill it out and gain that experience, so when it's time to go and get an actual full-time job, you have that on your belt. Woo! That's a lot of information, guys. I have information for days. I got information and tips for days because I have lived this life in the span of 5-6 years. Okay, I have lived this tech life, and I'm going to give y'all all the tea on how to get into cybersecurity. Okay, that's my last question. Make sure you guys check out Ethical Hackers Academy if you're interested in getting a course on learning about cybersecurity, penetration testing, becoming a SOC analysis. They have all of that in there. Check it out in the description below and use my discount code. Yes, thank you guys so much for getting me to 4K subscribers. Oh my God, 4K subscribers. Oh, and y'all, guess what? I reached 4K watch hours and I got monetized. So your girl is making money from YouTube now. And I just want to thank you guys so much. I love y'all so much. You have made me fly up in numbers so fast. I just cannot believe it. I'm gonna keep giving you guys information and value as long as you keep helping me. Watch those ads. Oh my God, and I've watched some of my videos. They do give you guys, I think, cybersecurity ads sometimes. Check those out. See what they have to offer. See if they're offering any courses, if they're offering any boot camps. You might come across a boot camp. Watch the ad and see if it's something that you can enroll in, because it might help. If you have any questions about the ad or about the service that they're offering, come and ask me and I'll research it. I'll do, take a look at it, and then I'll give an overview about the ads that you come across and the services you come across, and I'll do a video on each of them and see if they're good or not. All right, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe, like this video, comment any more questions that you have, any tips that you have, any video suggestions that you have. And I hope you guys have a great February. Happy Valentine's. And even if you're single, you're still loved because you're loved by the Digital Empress.